Hey, what is up guys, Ventriloquist here, and today's a brand new video that's going to be slightly different than some past topics I've talked about, but this is a first actually, regarding to a movie, and I guess you could say towards a book as well, but it's basically about the new movie called It, and this is something I've been waiting for a very long time, ever since I heard about its development. I think it was last year or the year before. I think 2015, I think it was iffy. Not really trusted, too many articles and stuff like that. But 2016 is when I got the whiff of it, I guess you could say, from I think I saw some article on Google or something like that. I can't remember now, but that's when I really got excited. And I didn't think it was going to be the best movie because I thought it was going to be like a low budget, nobody big was going to pick it up, but it was very, very, very wrong. Very wrong, assumption, I guess you could say. But anyways, I'm going to tell you my thoughts on the original compared to the first, but I'm going to give you, I'm basically going to just tell you in chronological order because, I'm a huge fan of the original, which is not really a movie if you think about it, because it was actually an ABC miniseries, and it was on one weekend. It was the kid version, then the weekend after, it was the adult version. Now, obviously, this was in 1990, and this was years before, I even was alive, so there was a different crowd then that never seen something like that, other than the Nightmare on Elm Street, like that's one of my favorite series as well. There's a whole bunch of, Freddy Krueger films. But even the Friday the 13th, the Halloweens, Creep Show, which is really creepy, hence the name. But, so many cool, 80s horror films. But then you get into a film that's really, really different, and which is It. And even though there's a lot of backstory on It and Pennywise himself, because that's why his name is It mainly, because it's not a clown, and it's not a werewolf, it's not a mummy, it's not a vampire, it's a demonic creature as old as time itself or something like that. And I never read the book fully, but I've read chunks of information regarding to it, and surprisingly there's from obvious reasons, those who are fans of the original, the book, not the original, but like the book, but you would know, even in the newer film, that there was a lot of stuff that were graphic that was supposed to take, there was a scene that's supposed to take place that it took place in the book after they beat Pennywise the first time, and there's supposed to be a thing that was going on, but they didn't add that in the film, understandably. And in the miniseries, there were a lot of problems, probably with censorship and everything like that. So, understandably so, they did not include all those parts. But regardless, it's a pretty basic, it's a pretty basic foundation to both films. You have likable characters, which Stephen King is known for doing, has likable characters, and they go through, they have their own individual problems and issues that, comes to effect from a, clown, and, without giving too much away, basically, and then they fight the clown, and, blah, blah, blah. Go watch the film. That's, you don't have to hear it from me. If you watch the original and the newer one, you won't be disappointed by neither, or by either, because if you understand the situation of the original miniseries, which is not actually a movie, which is the original miniseries, like I said, I believe it was, on 2 different weekends, and it's just a miniseries. They turned it into a movie that I rented from Blockbuster in the mid-2000s, I believe. Well, I didn't rent it, but I kept that movie, and it's something that was really scary to me, especially the scene where, obviously the famous Georgie in the sewer scene, but the one where Eddie's in the bathroom and at school in the showers, and you just see Pennywise come out from the storm drain, and he basically tells him it wouldn't do any good to run, you know. And it's one of the creepiest scenes I've ever seen. But you know, as far as, you know, 1990, they had a low budget. You obviously could tell, like, the spider and everything like that. It looked really bad on some parts, but you know, it was pretty likable, especially in the kid version. It wasn't too corny. It didn't feel forced too much, and you know, just it's creepy. Tim Curry was the savior of that film. A lot of people don't know that Tim Curry actually played Darkness in Legend, which is one of my favorite movies, and it was one of the most coolest, like, effects, you know, as far as the 80s, and he just did a great job playing Pennywise. I mean, his head, obviously the forehead, you could tell it looked alien, it didn't look normal. I mean, he just looked just so menacing, scary, and, you know, it's not somebody you want to approach. But he was actually, you know, really funny, and that's pretty relatable to the book. You know, he had humor, but also very dark as well, and you could see that in the film. And one of the things, and if you didn't notice in the newer film, is that he starts off, like, you know, this is going a long ways by saying friendly, but he kind of changes his demeanor throughout the film. And he gets more menacing throughout the film, which is pretty cool how they did that. If you picked up on it, then you would, you know, probably respect it more. But, you know, as far as the original, I guess I could say that there was a lot of character development, as limited as it was with budget and, you know, being a mini series and, you know, for 2 weekends. But you know, they did what they could, especially taking a lot of stuff out, but it's over 1,100 pages that they had to adapt to a mini-series in the year of 1990 without great budget, and, you know, it was not supposed to be anything huge. But now, I mean, if you watch the newer film, they added a lot of source material from the book, which is awesome. They added key references, like, I guess you could say Easter eggs, you know, and I'm pretty sure they've already put some of those videos up. Pretty positive. I mean, if you already watched the film and you didn't pick up on certain things that you felt you might have not seen, then you might want to go and look up Easter eggs from the film, and you won't be disappointed. But as far as, like, key little, you know, details from the books, they added into the newer movie that was not in the miniseries, which I'm pretty happy about. And they have way more character development. You get to see more into Henry Bauer's life, his situation, you know, very difficult situation. You never got to see his dad in the miniseries. You never got to see his friend that went in the sewers, and you know, but that's unless you watch the film. You know, you didn't get to see a whole lot into Beverly Marsh's life, even though they did add a good, you know, as it was pretty evident in, you know, in the miniseries what she was going through with her father, but you didn't get to see it's way more darker in the newer film. And I mean, you get to see more into Eddie's like his grandma, you know, you get to see more character development and all the characters. And it's a pretty cool, you know, way of going about it, because in the miniseries, if you are a fan of the book and you're just a fan of a lot of the material from the book, like I am, I didn't actually read the 1,100 pages because I'm still trying to get through other books that I'm a fan of, and like especially the Tolkien books, and but it's just you get to have more appreciation, especially for the director, to even go about putting all this, you know, effort in, because it's a 1,100 page book that you have to put into, you know, a few hours of film. And I think they blew it out of the park, and they beat Deadpool in the opening weekend sales or something like that for an R-rated film, which is pretty spectacular in itself, because I thought this movie was going to flop. I really did think it was going to flop. because I thought it was gonna be just, a lot of people didn't know about the miniseries that occurred in 1990, but as far as the newer generation, but I was lucky to have seen it, and I think that the newer movie did very well. I was warming up to this Pennywise. I hope he does even better in the second adaptation that's coming out in 2019, I believe, where they have the adult version, which occurs 27 years later from when they were actually taking place in the first Chapter 1. As you see at the end of the credits, it says Chapter 1 for a reason. But it shows 27 years after, and that's when you get to see them as adults come back and battle it. And I think, though, for Pennywise, like I was saying before I got sidetracked, is that I had to warm up to it, because when I saw the storm drain scene, if you didn't watch the original, you can watch it on YouTube. It's very scary. How Tim Curry plays it was just perfect. It's just it's the best of both worlds, you get with Tim Curry's version. And the newer one is more menacing. You know his intention immediately. I mean, it's hard. It's almost hard to believe that Georgie didn't get freaked out too much. I mean, you can see that in both adaptations pretty well, that they're both hesitant to even approach him. But just that way he was talking at first reminded me of Scooby-Doo a little bit, which it was kind of funny, but it was also scary. And it's way more scarier in my opinion, because they show what it really is. So he's not supposed to be a direct clown. He's supposed to go off the kid's biggest fear. So hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave a like, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.